Let's just sit with the reality of where we are for a moment. If you look at the tech landscape right now, I mean, really look at it, it feels a bit like we're hacking our way through a dense jungle.
That is the perfect image for it, the AI jungle. It's wild out there.
It really is. I
Yeah.
mean, let's be honest with each other here. Every single week, sometimes it feels like every single day, there's a massive announcement.
Oh, yeah?
OpenAI says they have the smartest model in history. Then Google drops Gemini and claims the throne. Then Anthropic releases something else. Everyone is shouting that they're number one.
And the noise floor is just incredibly high. It's deafening.
Exactly. And if you're sitting there listening to this and you feel a little overwhelmed or maybe just exhausted by the constant updates, you aren't alone. I feel it too. It's a lot to process.
We all do. And here's the problem with that noise. It forces us into this mindset where we think we need to find the one God mode tool. We're looking for the Swiss Army knife that writes perfect code, paints perfect pictures, and, answers our emails.
The one tool to rule them all.
Right. But based on the research we've pulled together for this deep dive, that is actually a trap. It's the wrong way to navigate the jungle.
So today, we're going to flip the script. We aren't looking for the best AI in the world. We're looking for the specialists.
Exactly. We're taking a classroom approach. No marketing jargon, no hype about AGI coming tomorrow. We have a stack of research here that breaks down your actual workflow retrieval, action, writing, images, and video, and identifies the specific tool that does that one specific job better than the rest.
I love that distinction. It's about utility, not hype. So let's start with the most universal headache. The thing that kills more productivity than anything else: searching.
The librarian problem.
Yes. The research highlights a scenario that honestly gave me anxiety just reading it. You finish a massive project. 3 weeks later, your boss asks for a summary of the budget decisions. You know the info exists, but where is it?
It's the worst. Is it in an email thread? A Slack message? A Google Doc? A comment on a slide deck?
And you spend 40 minutes just digging. You stop being an analyst, and you become a librarian.
And this is where most people make their first mistake with AI. They try to use ChatGPT for this. They think, well, ChatGPT is smart, I'll just ask it.
But why is that a mistake? I mean, you can upload files to ChatGPT now.
You can, but the research uses a brilliant analogy here. Connecting ChatGPT to your company's data, your Google Drive or your Microsoft Cloud, is like inviting a polite guest over for dinner. They're smart, they're helpful, but they don't live there.
They don't know where the spoons are.
Exactly. They have to ask permission to open every drawer. Can I look in this folder? Can I read this file? It's slow, the connection frequently breaks, and often the context window, the amount of info it can hold, is limited. It's an outsider looking in.
Whereas the tool the research points to, Google Gemini, specifically inside Workspace, is a resident.
It lives in the house, it sleeps on the couch. Because it's native to Google, it doesn't need to connect to your drive. It's already there. It can see your Gmail, your docs, your slides, and your calendar simultaneously.
So let's walk through the project recap workflow mentioned in the notes. Because I think people hear Gemini and they just think of a chatbot sidebar. How does this actually look in practice?
It's about the multi-source prompt. This is key. Most people prompt linearly. Read this doc, summarize it. But with Gemini and Workspace, you can triangulate. You ask. Find all emails, calendar meetings, and Google Docs related to Project Alpha from last month and summarize the timeline delays.
And because it's native, it can pull from all three of those silos at once.
Precisely. It retrieves the argument you had about the budget in an email thread. It correlates that with the meeting that got pushed back on your calendar, and it checks the official project tracker doc.
So it's not just retrieving, it's connecting the dots.
It synthesizes that data into a single answer. It's doing 3 things: retrieval, which is finding it, synthesis, understanding how it connects, and then creation, writing the summary.
So the real value proposition here isn't just that it writes for you, it's that it remembers where you put things so you don't have to.
Bang on. It lets you be an analyst instead of a librarian.
Okay, so we've found the information, we're organized, now we need to actually do something with it. The source material makes a really interesting distinction here between passive chatbots and agents.
This is the next frontier of AI. We are moving away from chatbots, which are passive. They just talk to you toward agents. An agent is software that can take an action on your behalf. It can, click buttons.
And the standout tool listed here for this action phase is Notion AI. Now, I use Notion, I use it for notes, but the research suggests it's moving into something much more complex.
It is. If you think of Notion as just a note-taking app, you're missing the power of it. Think of Notion's databases as smart spreadsheets. The research gives a great example. The hiring manager.
Walk me through that.
Okay, so imagine you have a database of job listings. You have a listing for an operations manager. It's full of requirements, salary bands, tags, status updates. Now, you need to hire a customer success manager.
Right. Usually that's the classic CTRC, CTLV workflow. I copy the row, I paste it, I go in and manually edit every single cell. It's tedious.
It's manual labor. With Notion AI, because it understands the structure of the database, you just prompt it. You highlight the operations manager row and say, create a new job opening for a customer success manager based on this one. Change the requirements to focus on empathy and communication. Set status to active.
And it actually updates the fields. It's not just giving me text back.
That's the agent part. It creates the new row, it fills the cells, it writes the description, it changes the status dropdown. It is physically manipulating the database.
That's what they call level 2 in the notes. But I was even more interested in level 3, the digital janitor, because frankly, my digital life is a mess.
You and me both. The digital janitor function is for that one messy page we all have.
Yeah.
You know the one. You're in a meeting, you're typing furiously.
Well, yeah, bullet points, half sentences, random thoughts. It's a complete disaster zone.
It's a stream of consciousness wreck. Usually, you'd have to spend 20 minutes cleaning that up after the meeting. With Notion AI, you just highlight that chaos and type, organize this.
And it doesn't just summarize it.
No, and this is the crucial distinction. It restructures it. It moves the blocks around. It creates headers like action items, key decisions, next steps. It turns your random sentence about a deadline into a checkbox with a date. It cleans up the room.
It sounds like this tool is less about generating new creative ideas and more about imposing structure on chaos.
Exactly. It's the difference between a writer and a project manager.
I like that. Okay, let's pivot. We've found the info with Gemini. We've organized it with Notion. Now comes the part that I think most people struggle with personally, the actual writing.
The blank page.
The blank page.
Yeah.
And I want to be vulnerable for a second here. There's this thing called the internal filter. When I have to write a difficult email, maybe I have to explain a delay to a client or give some bad news, I will stare at the screen for 10 minutes. I type hi, then delete it. I type dear, then delete it. I worry about the tone. It's paralyzing.
That is the internal filter at work. And the research points out something fascinating here. We speak about 3 times faster than we type, but we rarely use voice dictation for professional work. Why?
Because it's risky. If I use standard voice typing on my phone and I stumble, it types the stumble. It types, hi, Mr. Smith. It looks unprofessional, and editing it takes longer than just typing it in the first place.
Exactly. Standard dictation is literal. That's the problem WhisperFlow solves. It's one of the most unique tools in this stack because it focuses on intent, not just dictation.
How does that distinction work, technically?
It uses a language model to process what you said before it pastes it, so it listens to your rambling, understands what you meant to say, and rewrites it instantly into clean text.
The brain dump example in the notes was really compelling. Can you break that down?
Sure, so take that scary email to the client you mentioned. Instead of typing and deleting, you just close your eyes, hit the button on Whisper, and talk. You say something like, hi, Whisper, okay, tell the client I'm really sorry. The supplier didn't send the parts on time. It's not our fault, but we're taking responsibility. We're working overtime to fix it. Make it sound professional, but not robotic.
That's a total mess of a sentence.
It is, but Whisper takes that input and outputs. Dear client, unfortunately, we are experiencing a slight delay due to an unforeseen supplier issue. Please be assured that our team is working overtime to resolve this immediately.
Wow. So it translates stream of consciousness into professional corporate speak.
Precisely. It removes the emotional friction of drafting.
Now, there is a caveat here for iPhone users, right? The notes mention that.
Yes. Because of how Apple locks down the operating system, it's a bit clunky on iPhone right now. You have to switch apps to use it. But for desktop and Android users, it's an overlay. It works inside your email, inside Slack, wherever you are.
That's huge for anyone with writer's block. It basically separates the thinking part of writing from the typing part.
Which is often where the bottleneck is.
Okay, let's shift gears completely. We've talked about text, data, and organization. Let's talk about the visual side of the AI jungle, because this is where I think people get the most confused.
The creative suite.
Right, you see people arguing on Twitter, Midjourney is the best. No, DLE is better. But the research suggests that's the wrong argument. There are different tools for different jobs.
Totally different. The guide breaks image generation down into 3 specific categories: high-end art, quick editing, and storytelling.
Let's start with high-end art. The research points to Midjourney here.
Midjourney is the powerhouse. The guide compares it to the manual mode on a professional DSLR camera,
Meaning it's complicated.
meaning it requires skill to get the best results. You can't just talk to it like a friend. It has its own syntax. You need to understand parameters. You're typing things like R16.9 for aspect ratio or style raw to remove the AI look.
So if I want a photorealistic image of a professional woman giving a keynote speech, and I want it to look like a cinematic photograph,
You have to code that in. You need to specify the lighting, the lens type, the film grain. But if you do that, the result is unmatched. It's beautiful. It's for when you need high-end inspiration or final artwork.
okay, so Midjourney is for the artists who want total control. But what if I just want to edit something quickly? I don't want to write code. That's where this next tool comes in. The guide calls it Google Nano Banana Pro.
Yes, a quirky name from the source material, but this refers to the models available in Google's Image FX suite, likely based on the Imagen 3 architecture. But let's stick to the name. If Midjourney is Excel powerful but complex, this tool is Google Sheets. Simple, accessible.
The workflow they highlight here is in painting.
This is magic. Let's say you generate a great infographic about coffee. It looks perfect, except there is a weird, random floating box in the corner. In the old days of AI, which was like 6 months ago, you'd have to regenerate the whole image and hope for the best.
And you'd probably lose the good parts of the image in the process.
Exactly. But with this Google tool, you use a brush, you just paint over the weird box and type, remove this. It understands regions. It changes only the pixel data in that specific spot while keeping the rest of the image frozen.
And the research mentions it's actually good at text, too.
That has been the Achilles heel of AI images, spelling. You ask for a stop sign and it writes STOPP, but this Google model is shockingly good at rendering text. If you ask for a neon sign that says open late, it actually spells it correctly.
So Midjourney for art, Google for editing and text. But there is a third category, storytelling. And this is where ChatGPT, specifically DLE3, supposedly wins.
This comes down to one word, consistency.
The mascot test.
Right. Let's say you are making a storyboard for a presentation. You create a character, a little robot named Beep. Round body, blue eyes, rusty antenna. If you ask Midjourney to show Beep in a new scene, it will likely generate a totally new robot. It might make him square, it might change his eye color.
It treats every prompt as a new universe. It forgets the past.
Exactly. But ChatGPT remembers. It has a conversational memory. You can say, okay, that's Beep. Now show me Dupe fixing a leaky pipe. And because it looks back at the chat history, it ensures Beep still looks like Beep.
It seems like consistency is the hardest metric for these image models to hit.
It is. That's why ChatGPT wins for storyboards, while Midjourney wins for art.
Fascinating. So we have the tools for still images, but the guide mentions one final tool for when we need things to move, Google Flow.
This is powered by their VO model. And again, don't think of this as make me a movie. Think of it as connect these two ideas.
The before and after workflow.
Whoa! Imagine just handing a computer a before photo and an after photo, and it figures out the universe in between. Imagine you are an interior designer. You have a photo of an empty, ugly room, image A, and you have a computer rendering of that same room, beautifully decorated, image B.
Okay.
Google Flow allows you to upload both images. You prompt it, smooth transformation, furniture appearing, lights turning on.
And it figures out the middle.
It calculates every single pixel needed to get from A to B. The sofa fades in, the lighting shifts, the shadows lengthen. It generates the video journey between those two static points.
This essentially democratizes video editing for people who don't understand keyframes.
Yes. It turns editing into simply defining the start and the finish.
That is incredible. We're going to take a very short break, but when we come back, we're going to do a rapid-fire recap. We've thrown a lot of tools at you, so we're going to condense it into a simple cheat sheet so you can walk away with a clear plan. Okay, we have covered a massive amount of ground in the AI jungle today. We've looked at retrieval, action, writing, images, and video. And I think the main takeaway here, if you remember nothing else, is that trying to find one tool to do all of this is a mistake.
It's a recipe for burnout and mediocre Rosette style. It's about matching the specific tool to the specific problem.
So let's break it down one last time, rapid fire style. I'm going to give you the problem, you give me the tool.
Let's do it.
Okay. I have files scattered everywhere. Email, Drive, Calendar, and I can't find the data I need for a report.
Google Gemini, specifically the Workspace extension. It lives in the house. It doesn't need to knock.
I have messy database that needs updating, or a page of scrambled meeting notes that needs structure.
Notion AI, the digital janitor, it organizes chaos.
I have writer's block. I'm staring at a blank screen, afraid to send a difficult email.
Whisper flow, it captures your intent, not your stumbles. It turns your brain dump into a draft.
I need a high-end artistic image for a website header, and I'm willing to learn some prompt syntax.
Midjourney, total creative control for the highest quality.
I need to fix a typo on an image or remove a weird background object quickly.
Google Nano Banana Pro or Image FX, the precision editor.
I need a consistent character for a storyboard or a comic.
ChatGPT, it remembers who Beep is.
And finally, I need to show a transformation from point A to point B in a video.
Google Flow, it animates the gap between ideas.
You know, putting it like that,
Yeah.
the AI jungle feels a little less wild. It feels manageable.
It does. And the key is, you don't have to conquer the whole jungle at once. You don't need to master all 7 of these tools this weekend.
That leads us to our challenge for you, the listener. We don't want you to go download everything we just mentioned. That's just adding more noise to your life.
Right. Pick just one. What is your biggest bottleneck right now? If your inbox is a disaster, try the Gemini extension. If you hate typing, try Whisper. Spend 15 minutes with just one tool.
Don't build the perfect system overnight. Build it one tool at a time. And if you know someone who is drowning in the noise of new techo, maybe a colleague or a friend, share this deep dive with them.
Absolutely. We can all learn to work smarter together.
Thanks for listening. See you in the next deep dive.